Welcome to another exciting game of the World Chess Championship. This is game 8, and today Magnus is having the white pieces. We all know 5 games in starting ended in a draw, and 6th game was won by Magnus by quite a brilliancy by sacking the queen for 2 rooks. In case if we have missed that move or game, you can just check it out. The link is in the description. And the 7th game was really a quick draw. So we dive straight into this wonderful game. And can Nepo equalize by winning this game? Or Magnus can do something with white pieces? Magnus with the white pieces opens the game with this e4. We have e5, knight f3. So we have not seen Sicilian defense. Knight f3, knight f6. We have the Petrov defense on the board. But usually white captures here by this, and we see this knight is getting pushed, and we have this capture many a times. But this was not played in the game, and Magnus prepared something else. So we have this d4. This is nothing new, just want to avoid the move order. So we have captures. Bishop is attacking this knight, so we will have to defend it. And now this knight captures the pawn. So we have knight d7 challenging this knight. We have captures. And now this knight d2. Magnus does the same, challenging this knight. So Nepo captures and bishop captures. Magnus just castled here, and now Nepo played a very interesting move. Here it was just to castle. It is really fine for black. And I think you would have to go for the forced line. This queen can come into the game. And I would show you this line because this is quite interesting. And you're threatening checkmate, you'll have to prevent that. So after this bishop can join the attack and attack this queen. So you might see this queen move attacking this queen. So saying, okay, what do you want to do with this queen? Do you want to trade or not? If you trade here, then definitely this rook can join the game, and this is quite not good for Magnus. So you would have to go back, and now Nepo would have just played a cunning move and allow this capture so that he could win, and this bishop can come into the game. And after this king moves, if you think you can grab this pawn, then definitely not, because after this Magnus would have just lost the game. After this brutal bishop sacrifice, you will have just to accept it. And after this pawn move, and whenever you go, you are just getting checkmated. Now checkmate is just threatened. If you try to stop this checkmate, the queen can come, and now there is no stopping this checkmate here and here. So after this move, you will have to give up this queen, and the game would be lost if you have played this with the black pieces. But this was not played in the game, and Nepo prepared something else for Magnus, and he pushes this h5. This is not a bad idea, but after this check, Nepo played this king move and said, okay, this rook can come into the game by this method. So let's see how Magnus deals with that. We have this bishop b4 challenging this bishop, saying, okay, do you want to capture? If you go this capture, then definitely it is not a good idea, because after this capture he is losing this pawn, and I think Magnus would be winning here. So Nepo thought a lot at this point of time and spent nearly 40 minutes, and he found this queen e7. This is really a good move, but after 40 minutes this is really a bad move. So we have captures. Now this queen is jumping on d2, so we have rook e8 centralizing this rook, and this rook can also join the attack after from here. This is the way of Alpha Zero and the chess engine to activating the rook in this manner. So we have rook e1 challenging this, rook h6 threatening the same idea, and now this rook can come here, so nothing out of ordinary here. So we have this queen g5, c6 protecting this pawn, and we have captures, and now this rook is joining the attack with rook e1. Until this point of time, the game is almost equal, and Nepo offers a queen trade. Magnus says, nope, my position is better, and you have to deal with this. Still, this rook is not in the game. You will have to move this queen and somehow activate this rook along this e file. So Magnus just retreats. We have bishop d7 activating the piece. We have h3 taking away any further possibilities of jumping this bishop, and also making room for this king to move, so there would not be any back rank issue. We have this h4, we have c4 challenging the center, we have captures, and now you already know Nepo is playing in a very serious time trouble after spending a lot of time. So he pushes this b5, but this is a mistake. And now you can pause the video to try what Magnus played here. Here it seems very reasonable. You are attacking this bishop, and you can say this queen check doesn't work because after the king moves, you cannot capture this pawn because your bishop is attacked. But that's what Magnus played. After this check, when the king moves, there are two ways to just deal with that. First, you can just play this, and if you go here, and now you can just play any of the things. Let's see, if you try to grab this bishop, then definitely you can get checkmated. After this, there's no way. You will have to just go here, and there's straight away checkmate. So you can no longer capture with this pawn, and it was quite playable. So it was not played in the game, and Nepo finds this king to g8. Surely this is also losing after this capture. You do not have this capture because you are losing again the bishop. So there was really a pawn blunder by Nepo. So after this, queen is just defending this bishop. We have bishop b3 protecting it, and now rook d6. This is another mistake by Nepo, and he would have just continued with this protecting this pawn. So Magnus took this opportunity to lift this rook to e4. We have this bishop e6. Now it was very important to play this because this rook is certainly gonna come an f4 and put some pressure along this file and also along the 7th rank. It would be very difficult to avoid any further damage. So Nepo just played this move, and after this capture, series of capture, you see there are so many isolated pawns, and Nepo will have to suffer. So this queen is coming here, now losing a pawn. Here after this capture, Nepo lost another pawn, and this queen check, and game is fairly simple for Magnus, and this is completely winning if he plays accurately. So let's see. Nepo is thinking, okay, whenever this queen moves, okay, if you move your queen anywhere else, let's say anywhere here, then you can just deliver this check, and this would be certainly a draw. So I would have to keep in mind no random moves are available. So after this queen check, and again one pawn is lost, and these two are really a passed pawns. So queen is coming again near the king so that we can have some repetition if Magnus is not careful. But obviously not. Magnus is not interested in that. He saves this diagonal so that he can avoid any further checks. Now this pawn is attacked, so we have some checks, and now this queen is controlling both of these pawns. And Magnus doesn't want to give any chances, and he wants to play fairly fast so that Nepo doesn't get any time to calculate any of the further moves. So queen back to f2 doesn't have a lot of moves. Magnus played this move so that after this check you do not have to worry about from check from here and check from c1. So he covers this square too. So after this check there is no further check available. You cannot deliver check from here and also from here because the queen is covering that square. So Nepo played the only available move, king h7, queen d3 check, and the game is fairly simple for Magnus. After few of the checks, the pawn is marching forward, and after this Magnus played this queen f3, and there is no way. You cannot do anything, this pawn is lost. If you try to capture it, then it will not work, and you can just go for the capture, and there are too many pawns, all are protected, and this pawn can easily promote to a queen. So after this move, Nepo just resigned the game, and what a brilliant victory for Magnus. And with this win, he just got 2 points ahead of Nepo, and it is extremely difficult for Nepo to equalize, and I think he's surely gonna win this championship. But let's see what is there in the future games. So I will cover all the games which is remaining. So you can subscribe this channel until now, and I will see you soon in my next video. Till then, thanks a lot.